Hey, what's going on everyone? Jason from Collector here, and I know I'm a little late on this when the news has come and somewhat gone, I suppose, but there is no way on Crom's beard that I could not talk about the recent trailers that we have seen. Yes, they aired on the Lame Awards, which I don't even want to talk about, but in terms of new gameplay trailers, in terms of just announcements, there's some here which, come on, we all know what was announced, so I'm going to get straight into it, right? Virtua Fighter 6. Even though it's not titled as Virtua Fighter 6, Virtua Fighter is coming back. And that's literally the title. Virtua Fighter is back. Now, I'm as old school as it comes when it comes to Virtua Fighter. You know, whether it's the original game in the arcades, but more primarily for myself, really started with the series on the Sega Saturn, the first Virtua Fighter, which I actually remember buying a used copy of when I was in high school. Instead of spending my lunch money, I would actually leave high school during sixth form, go out to the nearest cash converter where they had loads of second-hand Sega Saturn games. And Virtua Fighter, if I remember correctly, might actually be the first Saturn game I bought out of my own money. it just might be, but you know, Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter 2 on the Saturn would just peak, especially Virtua Fighter 2, absolute peak. And I won't hear nothing said about Virtua Fighter 1, because Virtua Fighter 1 is, as we know, the first 3D fighter ever made. Yes, there's a little floaty like you know today, but you know, back then graphically, my god, it was more animation as well. Absolutely nailed that 3D animation. And when we think about the important fighters, there's two important fighters that laid you know the groundwork for every single beat 'em up you ever played afterwards. And those two fighters are Street Fighter 2 and Virtua Fighter. These are the two most important fighting game series ever made. Every other series after that, you can thank for Street Fighter and Virtua Fighter. But the fact that Sega are really seemingly making a strong effort to bring this series back, we have been waiting over a decade for the new Virtua Fighter. We've been playing Virtua Fighter 5 for a stupid amount of time. As glorious as that game is, we've been craving a new one. So to see it come back, I mean, just the gameplay for this, I know they say it's like pre-alpha and stuff, but they're trying to give us an idea of what they're going for. You know, and like I said, realism and innovation. And just from what I've seen of that little bit of gameplay, the way the characters are blocking and countering and moving out of the way of attacks, I just hope it looks like just an Hong Kong action old school kung fu movie. You know, almost like Once Upon a Time in China with Jet Li or the Jackie Chan film, you know. I'm beyond hyped for this. And I know it's going to take some time, but when it finally comes, it's going to be, I'm going to get, like, once again, like we had with our recent Sega announcements, you know, like the Crazy Taxis, the Jet Radios, all that stuff. I'm going to get so excited for this. I'm just going to allow myself to be excited, because why not, right? We get to see Akira, Yuki, and Sarah Bryant. Akira was always my boy, as long, you know, as well as Shundi. But you know, they look fantastic. But yeah, Virtua Fighter, I mean, like I said, you know, it is the king of 3D fighters in my opinion. The only few games that have come close, the original Soul Calibur, which in my opinion actually beat Virtua Fighter 3 on the Dreamcast in that generation, but still, you know, it doesn't matter. Virtua Fighter is a granddaddy of 3D fighters, and yeah, super excited to be back. Super excited. You know, AM2 were named. You know, AM2, my god, their legacy, people, their legacy. And we saw Yu Suzuki give his blessing as well for the new Virtua Fighter. It seems seemingly confirmed that he's not working on it. But you know what? You know, I saw you, and you know, sitting there. You know, he was looking a bit old now, and I was just like, man. You know, there is no denying this man's legacy on video games. I don't care what console you own, even if you're just on PC, this man's legacy, he impacted the entire industry, and his legacy still does. So it was great to see him there, and I hope we continue to see Yu Suzuki when we can, because this man for me is up there with Miyamoto, and sometimes in many ways can even surpass Miyamoto for his creativity and his impact on my gaming life, or on my life and on the industry. He really is one of those godfathers of gaming. So Crom bless you, Crom bless you.
Crom.
And then, next, of course, we got to see Okami, a teaser of Okami. I mean, recently on my previous video, I showed my vinyls. I've spoke about Okami before. It's probably, one of those swan song PS2 games for me. But Okami it was just a beautiful, beautiful game. I remember just loving just sitting there with Amaterasu when you'd feed the animals out to the wilderness. You'd have like this little cutscene, and Amaterasu would just sit there patiently watching this animal eat. But the soundtrack to that game, I think to have Okami back is unbelievable. And we've later now discovered that Hideki Kamiya, once of Platinum fame, once of Capcom fame, has now come back to Capcom and reformed Clover Studios. I mean, just saying Clover Studios just sends tingle down my spine. This makes me want to go, please give us a new beautiful Joe, just make it happen, come on. But Capcom was saying they're talking about bringing back legacy titles with Kamiya back in Platinum Games, back in Capcom and Clover Studios. Listen, I'm expecting a new beautiful Joe, but to have Okami back, imagine how beautiful this game's gonna look. Just imagine it. It's gonna look staggering, absolutely staggering. It makes me worry about Platinum Games though. They've been quiet and a little bit, on edge it feels, and I just hope, with all the drama that they've had, I just hope that they're working closely with Nintendo on their next system, and that can feed them, that can keep them going. No matter what, whether it's a wonderful 102, or Bayonetta 4, whatever, just keep them going. I think the only people who can keep them going is Nintendo, So yeah, but yeah, Okami, let's go. And staying with Capcom, Onimusha. As soon as I saw the spirits being absorbed in, I was just like, oh, come on, let's go. Capcom are stepping it up. I'm telling you, this is what we need though. We got all, it's like gaming, we love our old IPs. And when we say old IPs, yes, they're old, but as long as you keep them relevant, and keep them good as well as innovating when you can, they don't, it doesn't mean that they old, they remain relevant, and that's what we want. So I hope we get to see Samanosuke, return in Onimusha. I've been meaning to talk about Onimusha 3 for ages in a video. I'll get it into a video somehow, but yeah, Onimusha 3 is just there's some moments in that game which I absolutely love, But yeah, great to see that series come back. And like I said, I hope it. I mean, from what we saw, it looked like your in-game engine, So yeah, like I said, I'm excited, and I think we're getting a lot of great, samurai Japanese games, lately, and I'm slapping myself on the wrist for not being able to keep up with the ones that I do want to play. Next game is, well, we got no name for it, but it's from Gen Design, which is the Fumito Ueda studio. Basically the father of Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. Now, Ico I think is one of the most special games ever made. I think it's one of the greatest visual audio storytelling games ever made, and it really, really holds a special place in my heart, where I bought the CD soundtrack for it as well a little while back. I was surprised I didn't have it, but rebought it anyway. But Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I gave The Last Guardian a bit of stick in my review. I kind of regret that review because I was a bit too harsh on the main character and the controls, but ultimately, it was the game did struggle in many areas, but it did not. One thing it still held itself up there with was its atmosphere, its world building, its storytelling, which Fumito Ueda just nails every single time. And this new game, as soon as I saw this giant robot, I was like, oh man, this looks like, you know, those giant biological machines from like Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind. You know, when you're towards the end, it's just raining lasers down. But this just looks incredible. I think it's in game. The way the character moves and stuff, it looks like they're playing it. You know, you can see that type of animation in that character. But as soon as that music kicked in, you know, and I got goosebumps. I get goosebumps talking about it now. To say I cannot wait is an understatement, an absolute understatement. But yeah, you know, like I said, I'm a Team Ico. I consider to be PlayStation's greatest studio, and we know they lost them. You know, Team Japan, they got rid of them. Absolute idiots. Sony are absolute idiots. But I'm glad to see these guys still being able to make the type of creative games that this industry sorely needs, compared to the endless crap that we get from many AAA studios, just churning out piece of crap after crap just to get that money in. But yeah, anyway. Next game, Turok. There's a new Turok coming. Now, I'm a little up and down on this one. You know, it's third person. I get that, you know, a lower budget, generic, you know, team shooter feel about it. But I'm still going to remain hopeful because, you know, Turok has struggled, right? After the N64, it struggled. You know, Turok Evolution. Super excited about it, but man, you know, that game was that game was something else. And then the Turok on Xbox 360 and PS3, and I played the demo. I was just like, oh, what have they done? You know, what have they done? You know, Turok is a Western game, but it seemed to have, you know, I'd say a bit of culture in there. You know, you want that, you know, indigenous, you know, American protagonists to, you know, to come back in it. Turok, you know, I am Turok. You know, you want that flavor, that culture there. And it looks like the character designs in this one for the player characters, by the looks of it, they're heading towards that you know, that direction. But Turok is purely a wait and see. But you know, once again, we haven't had a new Turok in Crom knows how long. So super happy that it's coming. Super happy that it's coming. And then Witcher 4. I mean, Witcher 1, 2, and 3. I haven't completed the first Witcher. I got quite far in it. But you know, it's an older game now. Witcher 2 and 3 are just I just love them. Absolutely, you know, phenomenal. I remember I gave Witcher 3 2 scores, a 7 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10 for the storytelling, and a 7 out of 10 for the gameplay. But there were still moments in The Witcher 3 which, like with the Leshen coming out of the forest and stuff, oh, just peak, people. You know, and of course my girl Triss, you know, gotta love that marigold, right? But yeah, Witcher 4, we get to see Ciri, you know, looking a bit older, you know, clearly now a seasoned, you know, Witcher, and I love the way she looks. But you could also see a bit of vulnerability in her as well. Still got her powers, you know, whether she can control them or not, we'll see. But yeah, Witcher 4, I think CD Projekt Red will have learned their lesson after Cyberpunk, and will be releasing this game as polished as they can possibly make it. I mean, they better, right? They better. But yeah, super hype for Witcher 4. I mean, that CGI trailer was as stunning as all the other Witcher trailers that we've had. Next up, we got Borderlands 4. I'm a big Borderlands 4. I've only played the mainline Borderlands game, so I haven't played the pre-sequel, and I haven't played Tiny Tina. But Borderlands 1 and 2, I just so good. I absolutely love those games. And I did complete Borderlands 3, and I think it's the weakest in the series, but it still had, you know, some decent moments and some very pleasing visual locations. So we know we're not on Pandora anymore, I believe. So we got a new planet. You know, I'm all for that. You know, Pandora has served its time and its purpose now. So, and I like to look at these the 4 new protagonists that we're going to be playing as. They look cool. I like the design. So yeah, I'm willing to give Borderlands 4 a go. Like I said, I'm a fan of it, and as you know, as weak as number 3 was in areas, I think Borderlands 4, based off that trailer, looks great. So yeah, Borderlands 4. And the last 2 games were a bit funky. One game I don't think I could have even conjured up in my wildest imagination was Shadow Labyrinth from Namco, which was basically a Metroid Pac-Man. I mean, if you've thought of like the type of games you like to put Pac-Man into, I don't think anyone would have come up with a Metroid-style Pac-Man game. Now, you don't look like you play as Pac-Man as a main character. He looks like some sort of ally, you know, like creature that you can use and possesses you, or you know, can consume things, which is, of course, you know, is what Pac-Man does. But you know, Pac-Man with a bit of nightmarish atmosphere to it, bit of Metroid style to it. I am all for this, and I will be keeping this one on my radar for sure. And lastly was a game called Screamer. Now this looks like a anime street racer type of game, but it seems like mix, like I said, a street racing game, hopefully with some anime cutscenes by what I saw. I think the original Screamer came out like in the mid-90s. It was like an old Windows DOS game. I never played it. But yeah, this you know, I just love that anime Japanese street racer vibe. You know, I love Need for Speed Underground 2 and stuff. So yeah, this one just caught my attention. So I just thought, you know, I'll mention this one as well. But yeah, sorry, just a quick one. I thought I'd get this out there. You know, I think it's always important just to, even on a news story that's 2 days old or a day old or whatever. Just important to get my own comments out there for my channel. But yeah, just let me know your thoughts on the games that you saw. Like I said, I wasn't interested in the Game Awards. I think we had a great speech from the head of Larian Studios, who gave it to Jeff Keighley and to those companies who do nothing but spin and destroy gaming for money purposes. He came out there and spoke creativity over and artistry over everything else, and that's what we need to see. These are the type of representatives that we need to see. But I didn't actually watch the Game Awards. I got no interest anymore whatsoever. The trailers that get announced there, fine, they get announced at the Game Awards, but these are trailers for games that are coming. They be announced regardless of the Game Awards, we're there or not. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, people. Thanks for listening. Take care all, and Virtua Fighter 6, people. Okami, let's go. Take care all, and peace.